So I read this opinion article in the Boston Globe, and it was called "Starving the Tea Will Stunt Growth." So it kind of relates to like the culture and change of the Boston area. And I didn't know this, but right now Boston is bigger than ever since the 1970s and growing faster than ever. And it's still growing and projected to grow like that, like well into the future. And so there's no reason why we can't keep it up. And this has led to many plans for us to build new homes and new apartment buildings, as we've seen in some other articles here. So there's like a huge amount of Beacon Hill legislators that want to starve like the T, which is, the mass transportation system here. And it's a key infrastructure of the city. They pointed out that like main living areas grow around where there are T stops, which is all throughout the city. But this, like starving the T, because right now it's at like a huge deficit and not really running so efficiently, it's becoming problematic to fund, and they're trying to look for ways to like keep it up and running, but not creating huge problems with deficit and everything. So there are always new buildings popping up around T stops, like in Worcester, Lowell, Brockton, and Haverhill, and those are all commuter lines. But right now they stopped T deficit spending on Beacon Hill, which will definitely lower the level of service that they can have throughout the day. And right now there's usually T, like the subway, running about at least once every 10 minutes throughout like various stops around the greater Boston area and in Boston. So the article said that basically there are two options if we want to maintain like such a well-funded and good infrastructure in the city while maintaining like the new buildings and everything to support the growing city. And so basically the city can make a large down payment to like improve the cars, the engines, and all the buses and tracks and everything, and that will kind of keep it up and running, but it's hard to gather a lot of money like instantaneously. And they also could raise money through new payroll taxes, and that's like local sales tax, and any money that you make, like they just take off a little bit. Basically the author was saying that like we can't really let the tea die. We have to do one of those things, because with like if we want to keep the city growing and we want to build all these new buildings, then we need the infrastructure, and we need the tea to get from one place to another. So it obviously connects to culture and change, because recently, like I said, the city is growing so much and there's so much popping up around the city. So we need ways to help that growth and aid it, and we can't take a step back by defunding the tea. So I was just wondering, like, for my questions, have you guys noticed like how life has kind of popped up around the tea and how you use the tea?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could notice like that they're cutting their costs, because like they stopped service on Saturday, and
and they've raised the prices recently.
Yeah,
too.
that too. Yeah, so.
I know that I take the tea from a lot of times from like the Woodland station, and they just built like in Newton, they just built a huge apartment complex right at the tea stop.
Yeah.
So like that's the only thing.
Yeah.
A lot of college campuses have like a go-to tea stop that like kids rely on to get into the city, to like get to the airport, get to like a bus station, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the tea is extremely important, even though they are cutting costs in other ways. I think they're still trying to keep people on the tea, and I know it's really important for my dad who needs to work, and it's important to me, and I think everybody here, because although we don't live in Boston, it's like really good access. And I think although it might like increase taxes, I think it's a really important part of the city, and what it drops people to something really around Boston.
Yeah.
It's just confusing because like in the city, a lot of people don't own cars. Like they rely completely on public transportation. So if people like had to purchase like private vehicles, and because like the public transportation like wasn't sufficient, like you would see like massive traffic issues.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of people that it like services for is like unbelievable.
Already Boston isn't like, it's not like easy to get around Boston in a car anyway, or like any city for that. But so yeah, the T is just so important for, especially because costs of cars, like, it's not
And like driving in
feasible.
Boston is just a nightmare. Like there's so many like one-way streets and like crazy laws.
Yeah. Sid.
Just building off my research, so like the T serves like thousands of people. So like I like from this article, I found it kind of surprising that they're having a deficit with the T, because like obviously it's high maintenance for like vehicles or